You are about to see that every dog owner in this video already knows and implements the secret to great dog training. In my 30+ years of training dogs all over the world for the military, guide dogs, human detection dogs, I have had a 100% success rate with all dogs. However, out of all the animal kingdom, it is the human I have found to be the hardest to train. I have witnessed some of the best and the worst dog owners around the globe. And I now educate people as to the dog for their needs. Always remember, when you purchase a dog, you are making a conscious effort to take care of that dog's needs in every way possible. An unhealthy dog can become aggressive, especially when they're in uneducated hands. Before I let you in on this secret, I want to tell you about a particular dog I came across at the vets on the euthanist list. When I started out as a trainer, I always went to the vets to get my dogs, as it was the best place to find dogs with problems. One particular dog was a beautiful border collie who was being put down due to jumping up on the owner's grandchildren. I was happy to find the owner was waiting in line with this dog. I asked her why they wanted the dog put down, and she explained that she continually jumps up on the children and they're all sick of it. This annoyed me immensely. Why? Because it was those exact children who taught the dog to jump on them. Yes, they did. You see, most small children tap their legs and say, "Here, puppy, puppy." The puppy comes to them, jumps up, and the children pat the dog and reward it for jumping up. Now years later, and the children are now teenagers complaining about the silly dog that always greets them by jumping up on them. And the poor dog is trying to work out why it's getting kneed in the belly or flipped over backwards when his jumping up training was so consistent years before. And there it is, the biggest secret in dog training is consistency and repetition. I cannot stress this enough, consistency and repetition. Bam! Every human in this video has been consistent and repetitive in their training. They have made the time to exercise the dog first. Pent-up energy can make training a lot harder with a hypo dog. So we exercise first, run the energy low so we can get the brain to think. A lot of trainers can implement exercise and training together, as you see with the fetch a ball or a stick games. Now back to the border collie I was lucky enough to take home from the vets for free. She soon became one of the best dogs I have ever owned, a smart to boot. She has now gone on to a better home as a champion agility dog. I knew I could stop her jumping on people in a week, and I used my own children to help the process. I must admit, I would feel like God whenever I saved a dog's life. After all, how many people would consider euthanizing their children if they wouldn't listen to them? No one does that. And a dog is just as much your child as a human one. Consistent training can only come from an organized human who makes the time daily to train. We now live in a world where every human is time limited with work, school, or living away from home work. You as a human must first decide if you have time each day to tend to your dog's needs. You, the human, must make time in your day for training. Your dog will love it, and you find with routine your dog gets excited at the prospect of understanding you. My Rottweiler currently grabs his lead and knocks on the back door at the exact time each day that I train him. He does this because he has been consistently trained, and the repetition implemented this into his brain. Many parents have observed their children when small, have to be told not to touch hot things. But we don't just tell our toddlers once and expect them to remember it forever. No, we use repetition to teach our children, and a dog is no different. Consistency and repetition are essential in dog training. Dogs learn best when commands are repeated multiple times and in the same manner each time. Consistency helps the dog understand what is being asked of them and allows them to develop a positive association with the command. Exercising the dog's brain before the training session is an important part of the training process. This helps the dog become more focused and attentive during the training session and aids in the learning process. Mental stimulation helps strengthen the bond between the dog and their trainer and prepares the dog for the training session. Mental stimulation can be achieved by playing interactive games, teaching the dog new tricks, or engaging in other activities that challenge the dog mentally. This will help ensure the dog is able to focus on the training session and is eager to learn. Having a consistent routine for training and providing mental stimulation before the session will help ensure the dog is prepared for the training session and will result in a more successful outcome. Consistency and repetition are important in order to reinforce the desired behavior and will help the dog to quickly learn commands. Exercising the dog's brain before the session is an important part of the training process that will help the dog become more focused and attentive during the training session. When the border collie was greeted by the old owner's grandchildren, it was consistently called, would jump up, and the children would pat her and say, "Good dog." They consistently trained this dog to jump up on them, and this poor dog could not understand why she was going to be killed for the exact thing these humans had taught her to do. And then the human found they didn't know how to reverse their training method. I used to train her on the oval near my house and found one day the lady I got her off at the vet's was watching us. I went to let her off the lead to let her have a run and release that extra energy before we started the training part of her day. As I went to unclip her lead, I heard the lady yell out, "Don't let her off, she won't come back." This lady was referencing the dog she once owned. I had consistently already established our training pattern each day and knew she would return to me, so I looked at the lady while I undid the clip. And the dog took off, which I wanted her to do. Because I had already trained this dog repetitiously, I knew she would come back, and the dog knew she was allowed to bolt off, run around stupid, and when she got that out of her system, then I would call her back with a treat in hand. She would return to me and sit ready for the day's lesson. The lady watching told me she would never come back to me. Can any of you already see the difference in our ownership of this dog? The second this lady could catch this dog again, the clip went on and it would be dragged home, never to be walked again. I would never train a dog with a time limit on us both. Never. And if anyone called me over to them and quickly clipped my lead on and dragged me home, you wouldn't catch me coming over to them either. In fact, this particular dog appeared to be confused because I wouldn't clip her lead on straight away. Nope, I gave her the sit command, then a treat, and sent her off again for more run time. Like children, we consistently set them up for success. And time I called her, she would come back faster, knowing there was no fear of the lead going on and being dragged home. The lady who owned her previously had started coming to the oval at the same time each day to watch us. She did compliment my work and told me that dog was never that good for me. I explained to her that this dog did do everything the same for her as she was doing for me. I told her how great a job her grandchildren did at training her to jump on people. When she was a pup, your children consistently called her and patted her every time she put her paws up on them. That is consistent training. Oh, she knew where I was going with this conversation. This lady soon wanted her dog back. As you remember, I did get her for free from this lady. And in the time I had her and trained her, this lady had learned a lot from her daily watching us. I explained to her that this dog was way too smart for us both, and I'm going to make sure she gets the life she deserves. And I found her a dog agility home where she could run and play as much as she wanted for competition purposes. Dogs are the same as a great sportsman or woman. From tennis players to golfers to swimming, no one has ever won a gold medal from just swimming a lap once, or swinging a golf club once, or serving a ball once. Each and every successful human or dog has had a consistent training program, over and over again, until you no longer need to enforce the repetition of the lesson. Always reward your dog after every attempt. Treats are not always necessary, as many dog breeds are just like children and love hearing how much of a good boy or good girl they are. I only use treats for those dogs I need to teach to come back after a release. Once our communication is established, I wean off the treats and just use over-exaggerated praise. It works wonders, and I have happy, wonderful dogs and horses. I wish I could master training humans to understand dog ethology, to help people stop training dogs with a human brain and use a dog's mind.